Hello my lovelies and welcome to day 2 of our Swoon Lucy sew along. Today we'll be doing the back, zipper back panel, then we'll be making the straps, and last but not least we'll be creating the front flap for the backpack. So let's get started with the back panel. The back panel, if you've noticed, yesterday was one piece like so. You need to cut it in 2 pieces, measure 3 inches from the top, and just cut straight. So your back will look like this. This is interfaced with Decovil Heavy, or you can use, of course, Peltex. Also grab your 2 little back pocket pieces and your 11-inch zipper. Start by adding the zipper. Let's start by adding the zipper to the back, the top back. We're going to add the zipper with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Just wait until you guys see what thread I'm using for this project. Because I decided to go wild, I'm going to be sewing the whole project with the rainbow thread. It's gonna pop so nicely. So nicely. When you sew your zipper, make sure that you move it away. Look at this. This is so gorgeous. Oh my OMG. Come on, why don't you want to focus here? There. Oh man, look how pretty. This nylon, this polyester thread from Wizardry is a brand new item that they're having in their shop, and I couldn't resist grabbing some because the irresistible print has so many beautiful colors. It's gonna coordinate so magically. Anybody else gets excited about the rainbow stuff, or just me? Alright, so this is for the top. I do want to mention, because I didn't mention yesterday, this project can 100% be done on a domestic sewing machine. You don't have to have an industrial. I use my industrial because I like it and I prefer it, but I've sewn on my bags on my domestic machine, and this is one that can be done on it without any issues. If you're using vinyl, make sure that you use water-soluble stabilizer and you go slow. And of course, you grab Microtex needles if you're using vinyl, because that will definitely help make things easier. So grab one of your pocket pieces and lay it like so, so that the zipper is sandwiched. The zipper is sandwiched between the 2 right sides of your lining, well, your pocket and your main fabric. So we're going to go ahead and sew right on top of the first line. My zipper is longer than I need to, and that's okay. I'm going to trim it. That's why I love zipper by the yard. It gives me so much flexibility and no waste. If you haven't checked out my MCR basics, I have a playlist where I talk about stuff that you use during most projects. One topic that I covered is interfacing and with a heat press. Another topic that I covered is zippers and various kinds, including zipper by the yard versus zipper normal, like regular pre-made zipper. Alright. So now I'm going to go ahead and top stitch, and I will top stitch with the lining down and the seam allowance up. So lining, pocket lining this way, seam allowance goes this way, and I'm going to go ahead and top stitch. And look at these magical colors appearing. I love this thread, and I haven't even used it yet on the on the main fabric. I'm so excited for that. So after this step, this is how it will look like. One piece of the lining there, and then the top is your vinyl or main fabric if that's what you used. All right, let's go ahead and work with the other side of the zipper. So I'll take my vinyl piece, lay it right side down along the zipper, matching the raw edges, and I will sew it in place. I left a little tail on the zipper so I can move the zipper pull away. If you're using zipper tape, make sure you remember that there's no stop. So don't go and snag your zipper pull like so, because it will fly off. There's nothing to stop it from doing that. Okay, so now I'm going to sandwich this side between the right sides of the second lining, well, the second pocket, and the main. So along this zipper tape, again, this is how it looks like, and this is the main. So the zipper, the other side of the zipper is sandwiched in there. And I'm going to stitch right on top of the stitch that I just did a few seconds ago. This is 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. My walking foot works without having to change it for zipper tape. If you're using your domestic machine, I do encourage you to use zipper foot for this step. Let's top stitch, and that ends the first part of today. So move your top away. You don't want to top stitch all layers together, because then you will close your pocket. So you want to top stitch like this. This is how it looks on the back, and this is how it looks on the front when you top stitch. Not a problem if you see the lining being a little longer. We'll trim any excess off. If you see like these pockets are slightly longer, not a big deal. We'll trim that part off. So this is how it will look like. Oh, this is so gorgeous. I knew I wanted rainbow over black. So this is how it looks like on the inside. And this is the pocket. I'm going to put some zipper stops here with thread, just so I don't forget and do silly stuff and make my zipper fly. Better safe than sorry, because I know myself. If I don't put zipper stops in, I'll end up making the zipper fly. I forgot to give you my disclaimer. I am not a professional bag maker. I am an amateur. I sew for fun. I don't sew to sell. I don't sell bags or anything for that matter. So you are learning with me. I am learning from you. This is to have fun and to try new things. This is, if you're a professional bag maker, this sew along may not be what you need, because you're probably gonna laugh at me at one point and say, what is that lady thinking? All right, now I can safely remove my excess zipper tape, because I know I have zipper stops done. All right, set that aside for now, and let's start working on your straps. for the straps, you will need, of course, your 2 strap pieces. You will need your zipper if you're adding it. If not, you'll just create 2 regular straps. You will need your zipper guard if you're adding it, a marking tool, and optionally you will need some wonder tape. I use quilter tape I get from Amazon because it's cheaper, and it works. And of course a couple of pins. So we'll be creating the straps by folding it twice. One time you'll be folding and press. If you're using woven, you're welcome to use an iron. I'm not, so I'm not ironing it. You'll be folding in one time like this, and then one time like this. This way you have a 1-inch strap. You can put pins all around it, or you can use the wonder tape. I'm running out and I need to order more, so because I'm running out, I'm going to be using pins this time and save my wonder tape for when I add the zipper, because I don't have much left. I like how this pattern doesn't ask you to cut connectors. You're going to be making the connectors directly from the strap. That's very smart. If you're using woven, then definitely take full advantage of its possibility to be pressed with your iron, because it will make it a lot easier when you sew. If you're using the directional print for the straps, check which way it will go, and make sure that the part that the outside, this part that folds, goes on the inside of the backpack. Okay, so this is one of my straps. I'm going to mark 14 inches on the strap. Put a little mark here with the chalk. So I know this is my 14-inch mark, and this will be the top of my strap. So top, 14-inch down, and then the rest of it this way. I'll repeat the same thing for the other strap. If you're not adding the zipper, the optional zipper in the strap, then you can go ahead and skip marking the 14-inch point and just stitch around the straps, like I'll be doing once I add my zipper. You don't have to do, obviously, the marking part. I will add my zipper because it's another opportunity for me to add some rainbow details. Oh, I'm so silly. That makes me happy. So isn't that the whole reason why we sew after all? Because it gives us joy and happiness. And it's relaxing. And we get to try new stuff. That's why I love my job. I love hosting Sew Along. I love talking to all of you and learning with you. I've learned stuff while hosting Sew Alongs as well, every single time. Not to mention that Backstitch Backing is such a helpful group. Everyone is so kind and encouraging, and I love working with you guys. Alright, so now this is the other strap. I'm gonna go ahead and mark 14 inches there as well. So it's right here. Okay. Now, because we've added zipper guards, to create the actual zipper guard, again, I have directional fabric, so I need to look at it. Turn the fabric, open the fabric that you pressed, and flip it to the wrong sides along the edge, and just stitch with 1/4 inch seam allowance on the bottom, what will be the bottom, to enclose the bottom raw edge, to close the bottom raw edge. Alright, snip a little bit at the corner so you have a nice crease, and then flip it. Alright, so now your zipper guard will have one end that is pretty and one end that is raw. Okay, repeat it from the other side, for the other side. I'm just checking how it will look since it's directional. Okay, I'm sewing 1/4 inch. And flipping, and of course you can always give it another good press. Okay, so these are my 2 zipper guards that will go along the zipper. So take your zipper and place your zipper guards on the right side down. So whatever is the right side of the zipper guard, place it on your table right side up. Then go ahead and place your zipper alongside, matching the raw edges, and sew it in place, baste it in place, stitch it in place, whatever you want to make sure it stays. You can use the tape if you want. I just like to stitch it in place. There's nothing safer than a stitch, right? It's an extra step that I really don't mind doing. This might be a little too long. Alright, repeat for the other side. Same thing. Place your zipper guard like so, with the raw edge towards you. Then with the raw, match the zipper at the raw edge and stitch it in place. Or pin it or clip it, but I feel like if I stitch it I won't have to worry about it shifting or anything like that. So if you're not adding the zipper guard, of course these steps don't apply to you. Give it a good press. So this is your zipper from the right side, and this is the zipper from the wrong side with the zipper guard. See, the fabric protects, it's woven fabric, so it's nice and soft, so it protects you. It protects your skin, you know, so it doesn't scratch. Not that the coils are very scratchy, but I feel if you're getting, like, if it's getting too hot outside, the coils might bother you. And before you forget, make sure that you add your zipper pull. I was just about to start adding the zipper without the pull. How funny would that have been? Not that I haven't done it before. It's a rite of passage, I guess, when you use zipper by the yard. As long as you don't get too far in the project when you realize you haven't added your zipper pull. Of course, you could add this before you add your zipper guard, but if you add it after, like I am right now, make sure you move away the woven so it doesn't interfere. All right, so the zipper pull is added. And see, this is what I was saying. Make sure you move it away. I'll show you so you learn from my mistakes. Make sure you move it away so it doesn't go, see, in the fabric. There, much better. All right. Grab your strap and look for the marking that you made, because that's where your zipper will end. So where you're going to sandwich your zipper now in, let me get it to focus correctly. All right, so where you're going to sandwich your zipper right in here. And of course you can use some zipper, let's see if I use a little bit of Wonder Tape, if it will help hold it in place. So I'm going to put some Wonder Tape along the back of the zipper. And I'm trying to match it, match the raw edge of the Wonder Tape to the edge of the zipper. Okay. Remove the paper from the other side. And now you're gonna slide it in. Okay, where's my marking? Not that it really matters for my vinyl. All right, so slide your zipper like so inside. Make sure that it's 1/4 of an inch inside, not more than that. And the tape will help you with that, the quilter tape. So I'm opening it up. If you're using woven and you've pressed it, then it's gonna be a lot easier for you than with vinyl. But I really wanted vinyl, so it's okay. I have some big clips that I think I'm going to use to hold it in place. Like these blanket making clips. Again, overlap 1/4 of an inch. So now your zipper guard and your zipper tape are all sandwiched in here. When you get to the end of the zipper, I encourage you to curve it so it looks nicer finished. So curve it like this, on a 90-degree angle, and then slide it in the strap. This way it finishes much nicer than if you were to leave the raw edge of the zipper. It will have the same functionality if you leave it, but this will look much prettier. Okay. So with it pinned, this is how it looks like. And on the back, So now we're going to stitch it down with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Make sure that you feel that you have all the layers under your stitching, okay? So go slow. Man, it looks so pretty. I don't know how I'm gonna actually use the zipper, if I'm actually gonna use the zipper here, but it looks pretty. Okay. Okay, and then continue sewing the rest of the strap. If you have not added the zipper, you'll be doing the same thing, obviously skipping the part where you insert the zipper in the strap. When you get to the end, pivot and sew all layers of all sides of the strap. Your stitch should be about 1/8 inch away from it's so pretty, 1/8 inch away from the edge. This is polyester Tex 80, I believe. This is for industrial machines, but Melissa from Wizardry got Tex 40, which is for domestic sewing machines. So if you want to grab some of this thread, definitely check her out, because she has it available for domestic machines as well. Alright, so this is one end. I'm going to remove 4 inches from the back, and that's going to be my connector from the part without the zipper, of course, the bottom. So now I have one strap and I have one connector. Go ahead and repeat the same thing for the other side, and I'll see you back here when we're done with the zipper part on the other strap, and we'll attach it to the back. The straps are now finished, so from the back it will look like this. It created like an invisible zipper on the back, the zipper guard, and from the front your zipper will look like this. Your straps with the zipper will look like this, and then you have your connectors, which is the 4 inches that you cut from the main piece. Grab your hardware, and we're going to be adding the connectors first on the bottom. Oops, I forgot to remove the excess, so let me trim this off a little bit. Find the center of your back, top and bottom, because we will use that center to add the strap. So I fold it like so and mark it. That's the center back, the bottom and the top. for the bottom, take your bottom piece, your back piece, and mark 2 inches on each side from the center. Right? This is where the straps will be added. With your strap connector, grab your rectangle. The pattern says D-ring, but I don't like D-rings when you put 2 straps in them. I find that the rectangles look better. So my rectangle piece, fold it like so. You can stitch it down, you can add a rivet. I might add rivets at the end of the project. I don't know yet. Rivets are something you can definitely leave for last. And I'm going to put the inside of the connector matching with the part that's marked here. If you're using vinyl, you will be sewing through a lot of layers right now. So on a home machine, maybe stick to the connector being made out of woven, or go very slow, use a stronger needle maybe. Imperative to go very slow if you're using a domestic machine. You're going through 8 layers of vinyl plus the bottom one, so there's 9 layers of vinyl here. So you know your machine better than anyone, what it could handle and what not. If you're using an industrial, then you don't have that issue. Okay, and of course we're going to repeat with the connector on the other side. Slide your rectangle piece. Like so. Match the inside to the line you just created, the marking line, and stitch it down. Now the top of the straps, we're going to, because I'm using the zipper tape as a guide, so I'm going to center my zipper tape where the center line mark is. If you did not add the zippers, then let me see what the pattern says. You're going to place it 1 inch from the center. So you're going to mark 1 inch on each side from the center to place your straps. I am using the zipper as a guide. So this is how it looks like. I'm going to stitch it down. Less layers of vinyl this time around, but still go slow if you're using vinyl. If you're using woven interface, then you shouldn't have any issues. Alright, now we're gonna need to grab the sliders. I'll try a regular slider and see if I like it, and if not, I'll use a Gigantor slider. So you need to put your slider through on the raw edge on the left side of the slider. Then pull it down on the other side, beyond the bar, and then the raw edge, pull it through the D-ring or the rectangle ring on the bottom. So this is how it looks from the side. That's the first step. Alright, so now you're gonna take the raw edge that you just pulled through, and you're going to put it through again the left part. But see, I don't like it. It's getting too thick for the slider. So I'm gonna redo everything with my Gigantor slider. If you're using woven, you can definitely use the regular 1 inch. I'm gonna use the Gigantor to make things easier. And you'll see how easy it is now. So with the right side up, 1 time through here, and then down, and then through the rectangle ring of the connector, and then back up. I'm going to go through the left side again, and then once again down. Much easier now. Okay, so this is the view from the side. It looks very convoluted, but it's pretty easy. So up, down, 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 through the D-ring, then back up and back down. And here we're going to stitch it in place as best as we can. Or you can always rivet it. I might rivet this one. And it's so nice now with the Gigantor. See how easy it slides? You couldn't do this with the regular one, with all the layers of vinyl. Let's see if I can stitch it down. If not, I'll go ahead and rivet it. You want to stitch down that part that you just put through the maybe if I make it a little longer. Okay, so it works. Okay, so I stitched it down, and this is one strap. See how easy it is? Oh my god, these are the best things. These Gigantor sliders. And they lay nice and flat. There's no like bubbling. Okay, so let's repeat for the other side. The same process. And I'll show you this again. I tend to not repeat stuff on camera, but I find that this step might be difficult for some to visualize. So again, take the strap from the right side up through the left side, down through the right side, then through the D-ring, well, or rectangle ring, and then back up through the left side, and down through the right side, and then we'll stitch in place. We'll stitch this part or the raw edges. And this is it for the straps and the back. We're going to be working on the flap next. So for the flap, I got some thread stuck in here. For the flap, you're going to be grabbing your long accent piece first, and you're going to be folding it the same way you did for the strap. So in half lengthwise, and then the raw edges towards the center. Okay, let me set that aside for now and grab my strap. Let's work on the flap. So grab your flap lining and your main, and of course the long piece for the straps, which will go on the center. I went ahead and pressed towards the center 1/2 inch. So this is how it looks like on the back. This is how it looks like on the front. So now your strap is 1 inch wide. The pattern piece is cut at 2. You fold 1/2 inch on each side. So now it's 1 inch wide. Measure 12 inches and make a cut. And that is how you split it in the 2 straps that you need. So put the longer one, which should be 30 inches long, and it is, Put the longer one aside. We'll use that on the front, bottom. And now we're going to work with this. So take your strap, take your 2 D-rings, like so, and slide them through one end of the strap. Both of them. So both are slid right there. And you're going to fold at the 2-inch mark, like so. So now you have 2 inches folded. Perfect. I'm going to pin it in place. And we're going to add this to the front flap. So find your center. Find the center of the flap. I'm going to just press it because it's woven and it's going to leave a crease, so I don't need to mark it. And I can see my crease or not. Maybe I can't see my crease. Maybe I will mark it after all. This is a friction pen, so it's going to disappear once I press it. So this is my center mark, and I'm going to go ahead and place my strap so the center mark matches where the raw edges meet. You can of course use some wash away tape, like some tape, quilter tape, just a little bit. I'm going to put on the center seam right here just to hold it in place. Because I don't want to put pins through the fabric, and clips are too far from the edge. Alright, and now we're going to stitch it down. About 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. You can also add the rivets. If you want. Beautiful. If you're adding like clasp closure instead of this style with the 2 D-rings, then you can just add only one D-ring. You don't need to add both of them if you're modifying it to add like a clasp. So this is how it looks like. Place your lining right side down, and you're going to stitch around with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, leaving the top open. So you're going to stitch around the sides and the bottom with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. This is what the Swoon patterns follow most of the time. Make sure you take your D-rings away. Do not keep your needle in them. Beautiful. Now I encourage you to snip the corners a little bit here so it looks nice and flat when we turn it. Like so. And of course give it a good press if you've used woven, because now it will definitely wrinkle. Push the corners out. And we're going to top stitch. You could definitely, and I forgot to mention, remove, this is a 1/2 inch seam allowance, so if you want to make it easier on you for when you turn and when you top stitch, you can remove 1/4 inch of the seam allowance after you stitch it. Just trim it off. Alright. Let me run this through my seams. Beautiful. So we'll top stitch 1/8 inch from the edge. Gorgeous. The flap is ready. Give it a good press to remove all the wrinkles. And let's add it to the back piece. With the right sides down, you're going to place it like so. Your zipper will be matching that center strap. This is how you know you're centered. Of course, you can also measure from side to side to make sure that it's the same amount on both sides. And this is the last step for today. Today has been pretty long, I feel. But I think we got the hardest part, let's say, out of the way. This was probably the hardest part of the pattern, because we dealt with zippers. There's no more zippers to add. That's it. We dealt with vinyl, with straps, with hardware. So day 2, you're already done with all those. I don't think there's any hardware left to be added to the pattern. Alright, so this is it for day 2. This is what you should have right now at the end of today. Snap a picture, give it a good press first. Snap a picture of your progress for today and post it in the day 2 comments of the Sew Along album in the Backstitch backroom. This will qualify as your entry for today, so you can check in for your prizes at the end. On Friday, of course, as always, there will be some prizes that I'll be giving away from our sponsor, from Swoon and Mrs. H, as well as Backstitch. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow when we'll continue with the next 3 steps of the pattern.